seen maybe 4, 3, I don't know, like maybe 5 of my last emails has been about me converting my FZ-09, MT-09 in other, you know, places to a mild, I guess I want to call it dual sport bike. So I know some of you are probably opening your eyes and saying, are you crazy, man? There's no suspension, there's no clearance, there's a whole lot of things that, you know, your bike does not have to earn the title of being a, you know, dual sport bike. And you know what, to some point I think you're actually right, and I guess that's the point of this video today. If you haven't watched the videos, I'm just gonna go super quick about what have I done to be calling this bike a dual sport. So first thing I did was just to put knobbies on it. I completely understand that doesn't make my bike automatically a dirt bike, but I put a Anarchy tire in the rear and AC80 in the front. Both of these tires are, you know, 17 inches wheels, so it's just standard wheels, and they come with big blocks, and to my understanding both tires are 50-50, meaning 50% road and 50% dirt. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about this. So addressing you guys that are saying that this is not a dirt bike, or I'm sorry, a dual sport, I guess we can establish pretty clear that this is not a dirt bike. What's a dual sport? So let's just take it back a notch. Just recently, Refzilla put a video on their low side podcast, where they're actually tackling and addressing this conversation. I think it's an amazing conversation, especially because they don't seem to agree, but they also seem to agree, which I think it's exactly how I feel. I feel like a dual sport, based on the definition of a dual sport, it's any bike that you can take to dirt as well as the street in a legal manner. So I know any bike can be ride or ridden in any terrain, I guess, street versus dirt primarily. But if you think about it, some of them are gonna do a better job at both, or one of them, and then to me the sweet spot of a dual sport is a bike that's balanced, where you feel like you can handle almost everything without compromises. Am I making myself clear? So I guess, let me put it this way. If we just look at a DR650, which it was actually brought as part of the conversation in the podcast, I urge you to watch it. It's an amazing channel, and I love, you know, these guys. I love their content. So the first thing that they'll probably argue is, oh, that was the first bike. To some people it's the perfect bike, primarily because it's light, also has knobbies, and also has what's needed to be able to ride from your house to the trail, but it also has enough engine capacity, meaning cc's, to be able to be a decent bike on the street where you need more power. So from that perspective, I think I completely get that, completely, and I don't think I have any arguments. I think the argument actually comes when someone like me puts knobby tires on its bike and start pretending for the bike to be a dual sport. And I think that's when people say, oh man, you gotta really draw the line, because honestly, your bike, it's only a street bike, it's a standard bike, doesn't have any clearance, blah blah blah. You need an FZ-09, or even better, you need some sort of like YZ, primarily dirt bike that can be ridden on the street. So I'll say I think you're right for the most part, and the reason why I say for the most part is because the fact that I spend not a whole lot of money in putting tires as well as a skid plate, and I already had my crash bars. It's helping me to keep my bike well balanced to an extent. The bike right now, it's comfortable for me to take to the dirt, and I'm not concerned about, you know, the not being able to ride it in both terrains. So this is where I draw the line, and this is the tricky part. For all of you, let me be clear, you are correct. An FZ-09 is not a capable bike, although I urge you to watch my videos, because I did some pretty amazing stuff for going pretty fast. So I argue that for what I wanted, the ability I was expecting for this bike, I think for me it's a dual purpose. And it's a dual purpose not because it's a mass production bike that it was meant to do both, but it's a bike that I added a couple things, and it's allowing me to go to both places, and that's what I wanted to draw the line. I am not going on the internet to say an FZ-09 is the best bike you can buy today. That's going to give you the best of both worlds when you are on dirt and when you are on the street. It is true. It's not true. And I can prove to you today that I'm on the street with big block tires, and I can also hit a trail and get back home, and I can do a fairly decent job at both. I think I can arguably call this a dual sport. Alright, this is what I'm talking about. I'm expecting a dual sport bike to be able to do this without fear. And some people will say, oh Richard, that's hard packed, blah blah blah. Yeah, sure. You do it and you tell me when you do it. Ooh. So let's see how far we can get. I have never been on this route, so I'm just gonna do a bit of a experimentation first. So I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna, and by the way, I'm by myself, so I mean I'm not far from home, but still, you know, I want to be respectful and conscious. You can probably try this on somewhat of a street tires, but I'm gonna tell you something. The looks are deceiving. I'm not talking about necessarily my skills. I'm talking more about tires. You know, really tires, being able to grab those, you know, big rocks and being able to manage that without any issues. That's what I'm talking about. Whee! Nice. Whoa, loose end. Oh, there's a lot of like barbed wire. This is nice. Back is going all over the place. Alright, I want my clutch to last. Let's do this right here. Ooh. Whoa! I just washed this bike and put like, I'm pretty sure your street tires will be blown by now. Like, come on, just give me a break. Nice. Ooh, I forgot that I have a camera. That's no longer there. Here we go. Glad that I found it. I don't know if I can make it with this bike, but I'm just gonna try at least go through here. Oh, nice, yeah. Oh, nice. I can hear the tire. I've never heard the tire before. Or, oops, or my water pump. one of the two. When I open the throttle. Ooh, nice. Whoa. Alright, this was good. That guy was just telling me there's a cop ahead, so which is, thank you sir, I appreciate it. Hopefully I proved the point today, and the point is, if you have a bike and you want to have the ability to do more, there's a few things you can do to actually make your bike do more. All I'm saying is, there might be a perfect category name called dual sport that exists today, that is a combination of a bike that's basically built on a foundation, or a street, or I'm sorry, on a dirt foundation that you can use on the street, and that will make it a pretty decent bike. But you know what's even more important? That I want to be happy with the bike I choose. And if I don't want to buy, I have no interest in buying a dirt bike. And the extent of my off-roading is going to be what you just saw, but maybe, I don't know, maybe longer distance, but about that terrain, what I have right now, even if I have to change the fork seals every so often, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't want people feeling like you have to have 78 bikes in your garage. And that's probably coming from someone who's probably not the best model, because I have almost 50 bikes already, and I have 2 currently. So, but my point is, you don't have to have many to be happy, and if you can only have one, and you can make that one do everything you want, it's worth it. Also, people starting on bikes, they have a tough choice to make, because sometimes, I mean, you only have money for one, so you probably want to make sure that you want to make the best decision that you can. If you know, have a standard bike like this one, that you can go fast when you want, and you can also take it to some dirt and be happy with what you have, I think that's a huge deal. So anyhow, I just want to share my thoughts. I appreciate Vasila for having those discussions, because it really got me thinking in a lot of things, and it's just awesome to, you know, think about those things and then just, you know, chat about them and or argue about them if that's what it takes. I mean, I have no interest in arguing, for sure. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you can share this video with someone who might interest, you know, this type of conversations, feel free. If you haven't watched the series of me taking this bike on dirt and kind of trying and building everything that I've been doing, just, you know, go ahead and take a look at some of my videos. I just want to say thank you and have an awesome day.